My name is Bryan Wilman. I was born in Pudsey in West Yorkshire. I live in Tingley, which is Morley, which is still West Yorkshire. Not because I'm a bloody show-off. It was just, I suppose you do need people to see your work. You know, it's so easy to just amass hundreds of images. If nobody's seen them, what's the point? It's a way, from my perspective, it's a way of showing people things that they can't see, if that makes any sense. The reason why I call myself a Backstreet Hero is because that's where all the good stuff is. What I look for is the things that are overlooked. And it goes back to what I was saying about showing people things they can't see. You know, it's the neglected, the abandoned. It tends to be more interesting, it is for me. And also it's things that won't be there very long or much longer, because eventually whatever you see will be tarted up or demolished. So you're capturing a moment in time. It's almost too many to mention, but the main one will probably be Henri Cartier-Bresson. Because he has this idea that the best way to get the best shot is to find somewhere good and then wait for things to happen. And it just seems to work. It works for me anyway. Not bothered. I mean, to me, anywhere's interesting if you look hard enough. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's a rundown pit village in South Yorkshire to, you know, the obvious places, you know, the obvious tourist traps. Anywhere, what you have to do is just go off the beaten track and you'll find stuff. Everything. Technology, climate, you know, the obvious things: climate change, technology, AI, all these. It's accelerating now, or it seems to me from my perspective, because I'm getting older now. I think the world seems to change a lot quicker than it did over the past, say, 50 years. So you're constantly having to keep check on technology. You've got to keep up with everything. I like spring and I like autumn because the light's good. From a photographer's point of view, they are probably the two best times of year. Because summers tends to be a bit hazy, winter's a bit hit and miss, but generally speaking, you get better clouds in spring and autumn, you know, and I like clouds. Just do it. For my own satisfaction, you know, I enjoy doing it. Brian Eno once said, "Art is the things we don't have to do," which I think is absolutely brilliant, because you don't have to do art. It's your own personal expression. I think that's the purpose of art. For your own enjoyment, and you know, that's it. Bit of both. Mostly man-made things, mostly street photography. I'm not into wildlife photography, it just doesn't do anything for me. I'm sorry. Photographs of low-flowering owls just don't do it for me. All the time. All the time, because a photograph is literally a snapshot. It's a fraction of a second. When you take a shot, you don't really know what you've got until you've developed the film. Whereas with digital, you can see it straight away. But part of the beauty of film photography is the anticipation. You don't really know what you've got. Sometimes it disappoints you, sometimes it surprises you. But you always see things that you're not aware of. Definitely, yeah. Because you already have an innate sense of composition and the ability to make things look visually interesting. And the discipline of, especially if you learn how to draw, it's all about observation. So you don't necessarily have to be an artist to be a photographer, but it really helps, definitely. That's another good question, because Man Ray, who was a famous sort of surrealist photographer, when anybody asked him that question, he used to say, asking a photographer what camera he uses is the same as asking an author what typewriter he uses. So in other words, it's irrelevant. A camera is a dumb machine. It doesn't look for you, it doesn't see things, you see things. All it does is capture what you see. So it's just a tool, it's irrelevant. People think, oh, if I buy a better camera, I will be a better photographer. No, you won't. Because it's not about the kit. It's about your vision and your observation and ability to capture something. And the camera is just a tool, that's all it is. One of my first jobs, it had to do with photography, but it was working for a printer. They did facsimiles of sort of what you might call important books in literature. And what we used to do, they were all shot on microfilm. And my job, which I didn't realise it was when I applied for the job, I was straight out of college, I was really naive. I thought, photographic assistant, yes, I'll do that. And it was just churning out like double page spreads from old books and printing them. And it was just relentless. It was just an awful job. And I was stuck in a dark room, within a dark room. So I virtually didn't see daylight, especially in winter. I did not see daylight at all. It was bloody awful. It was probably illegal now. Anyway, that was the crappiest job I've ever had. Being retired. Because I can do exactly what I want. Yeah, I can do what I want. I enjoy my job, but the thing is, you're working within constraints. You've got, as a graphic designer, or you work in advertising, there's awkward clients, there's useless account handlers, and the actual satisfaction you get from it sometimes is really minimal. But because now I just do what I want now, and I'm experienced enough to do what I want well. I think we'll be extinct. I don't think it'll be an issue. We're just destroying the planet. Simple as that. Does that sound really flippant? I don't think it'll be an issue, to be honest. No. Definitely not. Now, because you've got to live for today, you know, life's too short, you know. I don't really have any sense of nostalgia, you know. I don't sort of think, oh, things in my day were great. They weren't, and they never will be. But you just make the best of the time you've got, because there's always something new to look at or explore. So you're never standing still.